Hi, good morning. We are going to work on the Manipura chakra, the solar plexus. So this is the area from the navel up to the bottom of the sternum. And this area is all about igniting your own internal fire and being able to turn intention into action and to be able to really gain that full sense of your own power into bringing movement into your life and being able to achieve your goals and believe in yourself. It has a lot to do with our self-confidence, our expression of self, and really all about action and movement. So to work through that chakra today, we are going to have a little bit more of an intense practice. So one thing that I'd like to bring into this practice before we begin is utilizing the Ujjayi breathing during the practice. So that's a great way to build that internal fire. Ujjayi breathing is breathing in the nostrils and breathing out the nostrils. The difference between Ujjayi breathing and regular breathing is that you're kind of pushing from the back of the throat to the point where it creates this audible sound on the exhalations. So it is sort of like you're fogging up a mirror. So if you do it first with your mouth, you can think of it like this. And then you do the same thing, but with your mouth closed. So, like this. And this type of breathing really brings out a lot of heat and creates that internal fire that is related to the solar plexus. So it can also enhance our practice in a way of adding a lot of intensity. So if at any point it gets a little bit too intense for you, you can breathe out of the mouth and that will help kind of cool your practice. So let's begin. Go ahead and start off in a tabletop. So make sure our wrists are underneath our shoulders, our knees underneath our hips, and we're just gonna go ahead and get started. There will be a good amount of ab exercises, the core, really strengthening the core. So for our entire practice today, I invite you to really take focus into that core. So we're gonna go ahead and start out in a plank pose. So if this begins to be too much for you, then you can drop your knees down to the mat. So we'll lift up, really tucking in that core. And we'll just have 5 breaths here. Feeling our strength, spreading our fingertips, rooting down into the mat, engaging that core, igniting that Ujjayi breathing. 2 more breaths. And from here, we'll bring our right toes into center, and we'll bring that left knee up to that left elbow. And we'll switch. Right knee to the right elbow, and switch, and lefty knee to the left elbow. And we'll move at your own pace, really just igniting that core and breathing. Making a small bend in the elbows. 4 more. 2. And 1. We'll hold that plank for 3 more seconds. 3. 2. Breathing. And 1. Drop the knees down. We'll move through some cat and cow. Inhaling, opening the chest, and exhale, rounding the spine. Moving through a couple at your own pace. And then we'll go ahead and lift the knees just a couple of inches. Really think about bringing everything into that center line of the body. Bringing the core in. You can engage that mula bandha also, that place down at the base of the spine, similar to the Kegel exercises. And breathe. 5 breaths here. Good, and we'll press back into a downward facing dog, straightening out the legs. Bend one knee, and then the other. Just kind of working our way into the body. Come up on our toes, and bend our knees all the way. And breathe. Can have our knees bent in this downward facing dog. Our main focus here for the next 5 breaths will be that Ujjayi breathing. So inhaling the nose and exhaling, pushing out the nose. Engaging that core and breathing in. And then we'll go ahead and come down onto that right foot. We'll inhale that left leg all the way back and up. You can open up that leg, bending that left knee, and opening up. And then we'll come back to facing the front. And then we'll move forward. On our next exhalation, bringing that left knee into that left elbow. And inhaling back up. And exhaling, bring that knee into the nose. And inhaling back up. And exhaling, bring that left knee over to that right elbow. And inhaling it back up. And then one more round. Left knee over to left elbow. Inhaling it back up. And into the nose. And back up. And then exhale, bringing that left knee over to that right elbow, and inhale back up. And then on our next exhale, we'll step that left foot all the way up and through. We'll walk that left foot out to the left, and we'll open up that left arm to the ceiling. Stretching open, really twisting that body, keeping our right hand planted, those fingers spread. And breathing. You can bend deeper into that left knee. And then we'll go ahead and walk that left foot into the center. Plant that right foot and open up into a warrior 2. All the way open. So as you can see, my left knee is not going over that left foot. Extending out the arms parallel to the ground and sinking a little bit deeper into that front leg. And 5 breaths here. Really feeling the fire of the legs, bringing your attention into that belly, and breathe. Tightening the core. And exhale, we'll cartwheel our hands down, facing that front foot. And then step back into plank pose. And we'll drop down into a chaturanga. Hugging, we'll lean forward, and we'll hug those arms down by our side. And inhale to upward facing dog. Exhale, pressing all the way back into a downward facing dog. And then we'll go ahead and bring our left foot into center. Inhale that right leg all the way back and up. We'll inhale here. And exhale, bring that right knee up to that right elbow. Inhaling up. And exhale, bringing that right knee into the nose. And inhaling it back up. Exhale, bringing that right knee all the way over to the left elbow. And inhaling it back up.
And one more round, bringing that right knee into that right elbow and inhaling it back up. Exhale, bringing that knee into the nose. You got it. And inhaling it back up. And exhale, twisting. Bringing that right knee to that left elbow. Inhaling it back up. And then exhaling. Planting that right foot up underneath, in between our hands. We'll rock that right foot out to the right. And then we'll inhale, opening up that right arm towards the ceiling. We'll be here for 5 breaths. Strong in the arms, strong in the legs. And breathe. And then we'll walk that right foot into the center line, planting that left foot perpendicular to the right foot, and inhale, opening up into a warrior 2 on the right side. Bring your shoulders back, engaging the arms, feeling strong in the legs, and really tightening up that core, drawing our energy into the center line of the body. And breathe, gazing out over those front fingertips. And then we'll cartwheel our hands down, framing that front foot, pressing back into a plank pose. We'll press forward and exhale, drop down into chaturanga. Inhaling up into upward facing dog. And exhale, pressing back into a downward facing dog. Then we'll go ahead and drop our knees to the ground, pressing back into a child's pose. You can take a wide-legged child's pose or bring the knees together to touch. Resting the forehead on the mat and just breathe. And we'll go ahead and roll ourselves up, coming up into a seat. Then we're going to go ahead and press back into a seat for some ab work. So we'll go ahead and roll down onto our backs, bringing our feet just a little bit wider than hip distance apart. And we're going to move into some sit-ups. So first, I'll show you what we're going to do for the ab work, and then we'll go ahead and move through it together. So first, we're going to move through some sit-ups. We're just going to inhale, bringing our fingertips through the knees. Maintaining that Ujjayi breath work. And then we'll do 15 of those. And then we'll bring our feet all the way up to the ceiling, flexing our toes, flexing our feet, and then maintaining our gaze up at the toes. And then we'll bring our fingertips to touch the toes. We'll do 15 of these. And then we'll go ahead and come in to do some side ab work. It's really important that when we work the abs, we work the lower belly, we work the upper abs, and we also work the sides. So we'll come up onto the left side, lifting the hips. We'll hold here for 5 breaths, and then we'll drop the hips and lift for 10 on each side. And that'll be kind of intense. So after that, we'll drop down, twist open, and then flip over to the other side and lift on this side and do the hips. And then we'll twist open. All right, so let's begin. So we'll go ahead and bring our feet just a bit further than hips distance, then we'll go ahead and do those sit-ups. So I encourage you to bring your gaze about a 45-degree angle up to the ceiling. So we are really bringing our attention up and that way. So let's go ahead. Ujjayi breathing. 5. 2 more. Good. And then we'll go ahead and inhale our legs all the way up to the ceiling, really rooting that lower back and that sacrum down into the mat. And we'll go ahead, bring our hands to touch our toes, gazing up. You got it. 5 more. Good. Bring the knees into the chest. And then we're going to go ahead and move into those side planks. So we can come up on our left elbow. We'll go ahead and do 15 breaths on this side and then 15 breaths on the other side. Okay. And I like to bring my arm out 45 degrees to an angle. And then we'll go ahead and lift. Inhaling, raising that right arm. And breathe. We'll do 5 seconds regular. Really lining in that core. You got this. Smiling. And then if you'd like, go ahead and drop the hips and lift. You got this. 5 more. Last one. And good. We'll drop the hips. Woo. Drape that right leg over and twist. Bringing that right arm over to the right side. And bringing that left arm over to the left side. Taking a moment to breathe. Finding that belly. Feeling that core ignited. Feeling like you can accomplish your goals. Really pushing ourselves here. And committing. Then we'll go ahead and flip on over to the other side. So we'll bring that right arm out parallel. We'll bring that right arm out perpendicular, and then we'll go ahead and raise the hips. Inhaling that left arm up, and 5 breaths here. You got this. Ujjayi breathing. If you're shaking, that's really good. And then we'll drop the hips and lift. 5 more. 2 more. And lift and release. We'll go ahead and bring that left leg over and twist open. Good, really good. We'll go ahead, roll back onto our backs. Inhale those knees into the chest, rock a little bit side to side. Feeling a sense of completion. And gearing up for a bit of breath work and a meditation. We'll go ahead and start to rock a bit back and forth. Massaging out that spine. And then we're going to roll ourselves up into a seated position. I like to actually sit in Vajrasana for this type of breath work. So we'll go ahead and sit on our knees. And if that's not comfortable for you, then you can go ahead and sit in a comfortable cross-legged position. Okay, so for bhastrika breath work, we are going to be really stimulating that 3rd chakra center. This is also called bellows breath or breath of fire. And this is a great practice to do if you're just waking up in the morning or if you're feeling kind of lethargic throughout the day. You just kind of need some little more vitality. Then this is a great practice to do. It's also a really good practice to do if you're noticing that your 3rd chakra is out of balance or if you're about to start on a really intensive yoga practice. So when we begin, it's going to be moving through a forceful inhalation and a forceful exhalation. So we'll be moving our arms up on the inhalation and then squeezing them down by our sides, making fists on the exhalation. One thing to remember during this practice is that if it gets too intense, you can always slow down and go at your own pace and maybe take a rest. It is more on the intense side of breath work, so listen to your body, and I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like before we begin. Okay. Okay, so I'll go ahead and show you what it looks like before we begin. And we'll do that 15 times, and then we'll take rest, and then we'll do 2 more rounds of 15. Okay, let's begin. Good, and take rest. Bring the hands onto thighs. You can close your eyes. Taking notice of anything moving around inside. Allowing the breath to flow normally in the breaks. Okay, we'll start our second round and begin. Good, and rest. Breathing deep into the belly. And our last round. Good, and rest. Start to just let that settle in, feeling into any sensations in the body, any movement. Letting the breath move naturally at its own pace. So the element of the Manipura chakra is fire. And through this practice, we've been really cultivating this inner fire within ourselves through core work and through the bhastrika breathing. That can really carry us on to accomplish anything that we would like to accomplish. If you're sitting in Vajrasana, you can come into that comfortable cross-legged seat. And if you're sitting cross-legged, I invite you to switch the direction of your legs. And we're just going to move into a short meditation. You can place the hands on the thighs. Envision that connection with Mother Earth. Envisioning our roots connecting all the way down from our hips, 10 feet into the earth. 30 feet into the earth, dropping deeper. 50 feet into the earth. 100 feet down into the earth, to the rich soil. And then dropping even lower and lower and lower until we connect into the center of Mother Earth. Allowing ourselves to release anything we're ready to let go of through these roots. Allowing ourselves to feel supported. Now I invite you to bring your attention and your awareness into the belly. Envisioning the belly button all the way up to the sternum,
feeling into that part of the body, the digestive system, and bringing to mind a bright yellow ball of energy, placing it into that belly, allowing it to collect up any limiting beliefs that we've told ourselves over the years, allowing that bright yellow energy to collect up anything that says, I can't. And the yellow energy just dissolves that, allowing it to collect up any energy that says, I don't follow through, or I can't commit, or I can't achieve what I dream of. Allowing that bright yellow energy to just fill that space. Bringing the attention into the breath. We'll send each inhalation directly into that part of the body, adding to that yellow ball of energy. Allowing each exhalation to drop into the roots and release down to Mother Earth. Inhaling into the belly and exhaling, releasing into the earth. We'll allow that bright yellow energy to fill us with courage. Fill us with I can and I will. Allow that bright yellow energy to fill us with a sense of confidence, with a sense of trust in ourselves, allowing us to move forward and step up into the world, being able to accomplish and overcome anything that comes our way. Letting that bright yellow grow, allowing it to fill that whole space and letting that chakra spin. Breathing each breath into that belly. And I invite you to set an intention in that space of something that you would like to create for yourself. Whether that's just a morning practice, or if it's a new business, or if it's just a life that you really feel more empowered and embodied in. Whatever that intention may be, allowing it to sit in the belly, wrapping it in that bright yellow energy, and planting that seed, allowing that bright yellow ball of energy to nourish it like the sun, growing that intention. We'll go ahead and start to bring our awareness back into the body and back into the breath. And now the seed syllable for the Manipura chakra is Ram. I'm going to go ahead and chant this 10 times. Please join me in the comfort of your own home, where nobody can hear you. Push yourself. Step out of your comfort zone to feel courageous and to just trust your own power and your own intuition. So let's go ahead and take an inhalation together. Sitting up tall and exhaling out loud. And the next inhale, we'll chant together. Inhaling. Ram. Now just sitting, allowing that vibration to move through the body. Taking notice of the breath. Noticing how the body feels. Noticing how your energy feels, your spirits, your motivation, your confidence. Taking notice of where you are now compared to when you walked into class today. Bringing your attention into that intention that you set. Letting it stay there in that third chakra, filling it with that bright yellow. Go ahead and start to wiggle our fingers and our toes. Roll the neck in circles. Coming into the body. And rolling the neck in the other direction. Coming back into center. Go ahead and bring our hands together, our palms together at heart center. Sitting up tall, rooting our sit bones into the earth. The rear erect spine. Go ahead and take a moment to thank yourself for showing up for you, for following through, for moving through a challenging practice. Bring my hands to my third eye, and I thank you for sharing this practice with me. Namaste.